Why don't we pluralize foot measurements? For example, to answer the question, how tall are you? Valid answers include 5 feet, 5 foot 3, 5 feet, 3 inches. Why the discrepancy between feet and foot, seemingly only in the second case? This question is inspired by this question, 40 foot or 40 feet? Edit, I do not believe the answer to this is related to the other question. The explanation for the other question is because of how adjective modifiers work. My question is a very different case, unrelated to adjectives. My observation is that I am asking about a particular exception case which applies only when foot is followed by a number which is assumed to be inches. That's extremely specific, and I doubt that the etymology has any relation to why we leave adjective modifiers singular.
There are many such cases of using singular forms for plural meaning, not only in English, but also in German, and possibly other Germanic languages, or even non-Germanic languages. For example, you order dry beer instead of dry bier, and in a football match, there are 11 men on the pitch, rather than 11 Männer. The plural forms are not strictly incorrect, just less common. In general, the why question doesn't have a satisfactory answer for this kind of linguistic fact. Don't search for logic and reason where there's only history and convention. And of course you also say drei Fuß in German, on the rare occasion you'd be referring to pre-metric measures, not drei Füße, which, in this case, would have to be qualified as wrong, just as in English, I guess.
While, to my ear, the distinction you mentioned sounds right, it is not quite supported by what we see in published literature. For example, both of the following are attested as replies to how tall are you? And I'm not sure one is significantly more frequent than the other. 1. A. I'm about 5 foot 10. Sources. B. I'm just 5 feet 2. Sources. Similarly, both of the following are attested as well. 2. A. I am 5 foot 2 inches tall. Sources. B. I am 5 feet 3 inches tall. Sources. In Kull, for example, we find both of the following. 3. A. Our room is 20 feet by 30 feet, p. 655 b. My other table is 6 foot by 4. p. 693. Just in case one is tempted to think it significant that in 3a, the unit appears twice while in 3b, the second appearance is elliptic, note that for example the following are attested. 4a, Heitzer's double negative is a 50 foot by 30 foot by 1500 foot double cut in Virgin River, Mesa, Nevada. Sources. B. Here is likewise a courtyard 40 feet by 37. Sources. I conclude that the distinction under discussion is regional or idiolectical, that it doesn't really exist in Standard English. It seems that in Standard English, both foot and feet are acceptable in the present context, though in other contexts it may not be so. For example, is definitely a 10 foot pole, not a 10 feet pole, see here.
I'm not sure the addition of inches matters much, as I've heard it both ways for straight foot/feet measurements as well. My best guess is that it has to do with an implied adjective versus noun. For example, when a person says I'm 6 foot, my mind hears it like an adjective, similar to I am a 6-foot man, where the person has colloquially dropped the a and the hyphen and the noun is implied by whoever is doing the speaking. When a person says I'm 6 feet, my mind hears it like a noun, similar to I measure 6 feet, where the dimension of measurement is implied. In writing, it helps to use hyphens and commas as necessary to clear up the meaning, for example 6 foot, 2 inches adjective versus 6 feet and 2 inches noun, but in speech they can sound almost identical other than the singular/plural usage.
The ability to choose between the singular and plural form of foot/feet is common to several other measurement words, and may be a quality of some non-metric measurement words. First, this usage seems superficially similar to the compound usage of other measurements, where they appear to be in a singular form because they describe how long, big, heavy something is. Compare 100 meter dash, sauce. 12 ounce can, sauce. 20 pound turkey, sauce. In all of these uses, the measurement and number are an attribute of the noun. So it's possible that this attributive usage has been generalized to frequently used forms of measurement like 5'3" when nouns are absent. As a result, in these idiomatic circumstances, adjusting the count of the measurement word is optional. I can think of a few other examples of count ambivalence among non-metric units of measure. These examples show this kind of usage is hundreds of years old, whatever its origin may be. Stone occurs in both singular and plural historically. Singular, seed 10 stone per acre, source from 1802. Plural, 10 stones of seed, source from 1804. Pound, specific to money, and an example of idiomatic usage with currency. Singular, the sum of £10, over and above the said 4 shillings, source from 1801. Plural, for the best 4-year-old steer, £15, Mr. J. A. Drought, source from 1808. Mile, same pattern. Singular, not to come near our person by 10 mile, source from Shakespeare, 2 Henry IV, plural, so near our public court as 20 miles, source from Shakespeare, as you like it. Foot, too, follows a similar pattern. After running a search for 6'3", I found the following examples. Singular, the portrait had some points of resemblance, and 6'3" was just his height, source from 1851, plural, then the average would be 6 feet 3, but not 13 feet, source from 1800. In other words, English has had this idiomatic usage for a while. Why is something idiomatic? Usage over time is enough to answer that for foot.
Feet is the unit of measurement. Feet, pounds, miles. Not foot, pound, mile. She is 5 feet 3. This does not work because feet is not a unit of measure, yet it becomes okay to use if you specify a unit of measurement such as inches after 3.
Principle 1. Preposition.